Biafra me na meherani onuzo ke Biafra me meherani onuzo ke Biafra me. Tell me what we do, everybody want to kill us. They want to take what belongs to us. Try. We they love our neighbors, so we they love ourselves too. So it is written in the holy book. You find a channel, na meherani biko godo onyolu welo mono aya na meherani do onyolu welo mono onyo chai chukwu kikele anyị na bogi bia nyela. The time is now, we want to go. Remember your promises. Oh, na me onuzo ke Biafra me rani onuzo ke Biafra me na me rani onuzo ke Biafra me rani onuzo ke Biafra me. Ndiro marani buruburu anachi wepunda anyị n'ike. Shata. Oh, they are holding our lead. Mazinambika. Now is Prime Minister Mazin Simon. We shall rise and defend our land. The land of rising sun is our hope. Yogi bikonu sitende muziki kame iwele
My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, wherever you are watching from, I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you for being part of this platform. May Chukwu Hukabe my guide and protect you. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform where we bring information that is coming from the Biafra government, a platform that brings information directly from the United States of Biafra government, and we will not stop bringing information. In this platform, we are focused on the structure of the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Every one of us know very well that Mazi Simon Ekpa have made a structure. And we know that in the hierarchy of the office, the COS stands in for Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, as long as he remains alive and with us. We know that the Prime Minister is going to join us very soon. Before the Prime Minister joins us, every information will be coming from the COS of Biafra government. And whatever you see on the Biafran government Twitter handle that you're going to follow, all you have to do is to follow the COS on his platform, follow the Biafran government Twitter account, and listen. Whatever you hear from there is the right way to go. Do not be disturbed. Do not be discouraged. I warned about the situation we are seeing today. I warned about it in my morning program as if I knew what was coming up. I warned and I told Biafran that in every situation, follow your conscience. Apply your common sense. Don't say you are not warned. Don't say you are deceived. It has gotten to a time where we begin to take our decisions by ourselves. Make your choice. You will be responsible for any choice you make. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching from, we must not allow the newborn nation to be snatched away from us. Today, we are no longer the government in exile that you know. The United States of Biafra have been declared, and we are marching forward looking for recognition. That should be where we have to concentrate, the recognition and the defense of our land. In that recognition, our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, have told us beforehand that changes are going to happen. He has said it several times that whatever position you are holding, it is not permanent. There might be changes. Changes can come at any given time in particular. And he has told us about the cabinet that is going to run the government of Biafra. I don't know why people are fighting it. I don't know why people are fighting the structure that Mazi Simon Ekpa put in place. That structure is being promoted by the COS. Every single thing she has tweeted, everything she has said today are the structures laid down by the Prime Minister whom she is serving. She is stepping in for the Prime Minister, which is her duty. The Chief of Staff, every staff in Biafran government is under the Prime Minister. And as long as you are a staff under the Prime Minister, the Chief of Staff of the Prime Minister is in charge. You take orders from her, you take instruction from her. It doesn't matter whether if it's a child, a grown-up person, a man or a woman. Stop the argument. Stop the nonsense. Focus on the real thing. You cannot change the truth. The truth remains that the structure is already there. And that structure was laid down by the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Why are you trying to change the meaning of the COS? Why are you trying to change the office of the COS? Why are you trying to dance into things that are unreasonable and irresponsible? My fellow Biafrans, my concern is every one of us that is genuinely seeking for a home. The rising sun should be our focus. I said it that the enemies are going to come from the inside and from the outside. The attack is going to come from the Janjaweed, from the Afonja, from the Ifajunas. They are going to come. You haven't seen nothing yet. Attack is going to come. Propaganda is going to come from east, west, north, and south. But I urge you to apply your common sense wherever you are as a Biafran. Be focused. You are going to be responsible for any decision you take. I said it in my program in the morning. I say, test every spirit. Test everything you hear. Put it to test before you go along with it, including what I'm saying. Put it to test. Apply your common sense. In every single information you hear, apply your common sense. The Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, have set a structure. He has the Chief of Staff. Every other staff under the government is under him. And his Chief of Staff is the chief of all the staffs under the Prime Minister. Every staff under the Prime Minister, the chief of those staff is the COS, Chief of Staff. That is what that title is. In case you don't understand the grammar, go and look it up in the dictionary. But I explain it to you in a layman's language that you can understand. In a layman's language, when you say the Chief of Staff, every staff that is under that chief, every staff that is under that very office is under that other person. Every staff in Biafran government is under the Prime Minister. Every one of them. There is no one that is not under the Prime Minister, including the COS. But the COS is the Chief of Staff. Every single one of them. It doesn't matter the portfolio you are given. It doesn't matter the name you are called. It doesn't matter the title. Let that title not shake your head. Every one of you are staffs. You are all staffs under the Prime Minister. Every one of them is staffs. They are all staffs. Among all these staffs serving under the Prime Minister, there is one that is the Chief of Staff. That if anything happens to the Prime Minister, incidentally, she or he is going to take decision. She has the responsibility to call other people together. Whatever she decides, whatever decision will be taken, will emanate from her. Decisions come from her. You can interact, you can debate it, you can talk about it, but it has to emanate from her. Then you go indoor and have a discussion. Whatever comes to the public should be coming from the COS. Every public information comes from the COS. You dare not challenge it. And if you do, you cannot be described less than anything than a sabotage or a saboteur. My fellow Biafrans, I want us to pay attention. Let us listen to this very short clip I'm about to play to also guide you and encourage you. There is no going back. Biafra is here and we must continue.
This is why fighting colonialism and neocolonialism becomes very difficult. The neocolonizer has also recruited people within your ranks. They have trained your army. They have indoctrinated your army. So you fight and move 2 steps forward, but you are moved several steps backwards. And that is why the fight is not easy. The neocolonialist keeps on changing shape, keeps on recruiting people from within our ranks, and there is no shortage of people who want to be recruited for 30 pieces of silver. And that is why the fight is long, painful, and not easy to win. You know, when we talk about neocolonialism, I always remember these words of the Zambian called Simon Kapwepwe. Kapwepwe said, this colonizer who has become a neocolonizer will one day come as a foreign investor. And that is exactly what happened. So that apart from the French one, which is more vicious and more open, they don't even pretend, there are also other streams of neocolonialism, but the French one is the worst. Because the French never left. And where they were kicked out, as in Guinea they destroyed things, as in Algeria they destroyed things, as in Mali they destroyed things. But theirs is the more obvious and more vicious because they control all levers. They control not only your politics, they control your economics, they control your resources, they control your education. So their brand of neocolonialism is the most vicious. The other countries, such as the former colonies of Britain, what they did is that they leave you to run your politics. But even that they influence in some ways. But how do they now remain in your system? They remain in your system by controlling your economy in different areas. If you look at former British colonies, you'll discover they still control your agriculture. They control your pharmaceutical industry. Until very recently, they controlled your banking system. They control your intelligence. They still have their military bases. They train your army. So they appear to have gone, but they are not too far away. And of course, with the new entrance into the arena, such as the United States of America, they control you through different ways, like their cultural centers and NGOs. The NGOs are not innocent in this regard. These are Trojan horses. They continue to control your so-called civil society, so that you have a cadre of Africans who get money from non-governmental organizations, intelligent individuals, but their only claim to fame is that they write proposals and they write reports and they send them to whoever financed them. He or she who pays the piper calls the tune. And the funding is based on what is important to those countries. When it was human rights, they tell you, you deal with human rights, then we'll fund you. When it is multi-party democracies, they tell you, talk about multi-party democracy and we'll fund you. When it is climate change, they tell you, talk about climate change and we'll fund you. When it is LGBTQI, they tell you, talk about LGBTQI and we'll fund you. So that you see that there is always something. The neocolonialist is always hatching plots and getting our men and women, particularly those who are intellectually endowed, to engage in these activities because they know that if they control the cream of the society, then everybody will fall in place. Sometimes I imagine to myself the neocolonialist in the inner sanctum sitting down and say, We must not allow this to happen. Let us come and hatch another plot, and they're always hatching another plot, and we are always falling into the same environment through these plots, and we are always losing the battle. Even when we think we are winning, we are losing, because they know what they are doing, and they are several years ahead of us in terms of planning. This is the problem. They are involved in research at all levels, and we are kept squeezed. As they said, as I always remember these words, iconic words of George Floyd when he was being killed and they stepped on his neck and says, "I can't breathe." The African can't breathe because the knees of the neocolonialists are on his neck, on her neck. Can't breathe, is gasping for air. That is the state in which we are.